Good morning, everybody. This is my daughter's 2004 TJ. I had no intentions of making a video today. Don't even make videos. But when I got into the work, I thought it might help somebody out there. So I've only seen one other person try and attempt what I'm going to try and attempt to do today, and it didn't go very well for them. So lighting's going to suck, audio's going to suck, videography is probably going to suck, but hopefully you guys get something out of it. So that's the top of her half door. She really loves half doors. So we want to try and keep them going. They leak. Leaking was manageable, but it's gotten to the point now where a pretty decent rain will make the front and rear floor pans absolutely soaking wet. So unmanageable now. Show you real quick how it was leaking. It was leaking on the driver's side. The passenger side is actually not too bad, but it was coming in under here. At least that's where I saw the drips from. And on this side, it just kind of gets this a little wet here and there. But on the other side, it's really bad. It gets the whole thing soaked. So can't have that anymore. Okay, so first thing I did was remove these 5 screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then right here, it was already kind of lifting up a little bit. So I got this guy under there and just started kind of twisting it a little bit and was able to get, there's a bunch of tabs under here. You'll see most of them are still intact. Jacked up this one here. But I was, jacked up that one in the back, jacked up that one. So what I plan on doing is removing the whole thing, flipping it over, cleaning it all up, cleaning it. I don't know if I'm going to remove the sealants yet or not, like this old sealant, because when you can't really see it, can you? Yeah, it's like a little foam sealant, and it's deteriorating. I mean, truck's 20 years old, so that's going to happen. But what I plan on doing is removing as much as I can and getting some type of gasket maker or some type of sealant all along here, flipping it over, screwing it back together, hoping for the best. And I'm going to try and reuse as many of those clips as I can keep intact as I'm pulling it apart. It's more of them are staying together, honestly, than I thought they would. So hopefully it goes well. Okay, so you guys will see, this is when I actually stopped and decided that maybe somebody else might find this useful. I pulled all this up already, like I showed you earlier with this tool. This is all still intact around here, and I'm going to show you what that looks like and sounds like so you can see if it's something you might want to attempt. So I'm just sliding the tool under here. I've already broken this tab, broke that tab, and they're plastic, so when you bend them back, they just break. So just twisting it, pop that one. And it looks like the way that I'm, that one, breaking it, they break when you pop them out and then try and push them back in. So if you can get them out, like, don't let it fall back down. Yeah, see, those are all good. Now, I don't know how that's going to look when I try and put it all back together. Let's see. I may be rendering this entire door totally useless. Corners seem to be the hardest. It doesn't seem like there's any risk of actually snapping this thing in half. The only real risk I'm finding is snapping these clips. Alright, so that's what it looks like if you get it all apart. Broke a pretty significant amount of these clips, but not all of them. So I plan on using a pretty good sealant to put it all back together, so I'm hoping the clips don't even matter, but let's see. So here's what the foam insulation looks like. I'll probably, I don't know if I'm gonna leave it there or not yet. It looks like it's a good place to put the sealant on so that it doesn't fall into all of this. So maybe I'll just clean it all up, put the sealant on it. And these are the little slits that all the clips go into. So hopefully I'll be able to reuse a lot of them. Yeah, and this was the area down here. It looks like it just gets all dirty and shitty, and this this foam is really pressed in here. So that's why it's not. That's why it's all leaking here. Like it's barely. It's not foamy or squishy anymore. It's like totally hard and flat. So that's. I think this is definitely where the problem is, and hopefully doing what I'm doing here will get us some more useful life out of these doors. Okay, so I used a vacuum, vacuumed out all the dirt and stuff all in here. Used a little bit of acetone to clean up all the sealing surfaces. I probably have a little bit more of that to do before I do anything else. Found this guy. It's about an inch thick, maybe, or inch wide, maybe 1/4 inch thick. So I'm going to use that to replace the sealing surface. If you come and zoom in, let me see. This is really hard, like, and not providing any water, any sealing area at all. Like it doesn't, like if you touch this stuff right here, you can see it comes back. It's still a little soft and foamy, right? And this stuff is just garbage. So I think that between here and here, because it starts getting soft and foamy again over here, this is probably the culprit. This is where all the leaks were coming in, and I can see why it was so bad, because it's just not. It just left gaping holes because it all is so squished. So gonna remove all this. Replace it with this stuff, and probably still use some type of a sealant, because I don't expect that these are gonna really do a whole lot for me. A lot of them are broken, and even when I push them back in, I don't expect a lot of them to really help and do exactly what they were doing before. So and the screws are so widely spaced, they're not really helping yet. The clips that are really supposed to be sealing everything together. So I may drop another couple of screws in here. I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. But it's going to be some combination of this stuff and either a gasket maker or some type of sealant. Alright, so I lost my little camera buddy, so hopefully you can see this pretty well. Instead of like pushing it like I was doing earlier, I found out that if you just kind of hold it and do like this guy, kind of wiggle it back and forth while you're pulling it gently. Takes it up nice and easy. Oh, and I did make the decision to remove it all, so yeah, there you go. All right. Okay, so interesting discovery. You got this one screw hole here, this one way over here, which is that one. Oh, look, there's more. There's one here. There's one about the middle that's not being used. And then this is the one that corresponds to that one, and it's got one right next to it, so probably don't care about that one. But I'm going to use this. I'm going to use toothpicks to line these guys up in the holes. And then I'm going to stick toothpicks in here with a paint marker on the end of the toothpicks to try and make dots on the back of here so I know where to drill. And that's going to give me 2 more spots to actually put fasteners in. And then I think I have a little countersunk bit that I'll make here and here. And I've got a few more of these screws, so should be in a good spot to get at least a little bit more compression down on this thing down in the bottom, because it's really the only place that matters. Like the top doesn't matter all that much. I didn't see any more extra holes around the top or the side, so yeah, I'm not really too worried about that. Also, ended up using this guy to scrape, right? And then after I scraped it, I already did it, so I'm sorry about that. It left, you know, like a valley in the middle, which I just used this guy to get all around it, and it all came right out. So I made it pretty simple. Still got some cleaning up to do, but made it a whole lot easier. All right, so I thought I'd let you guys take a look at the little toothpick setup I did. Pretty self-explanatory, but thought I'd show you anyway. So these guys are in here pretty rigid, so it's a really good representation of what you're going to see when you finally screw them in. I put in some little half screw or little tiny ones in here for these 2 holes that I'm going to make. And then I put some of this Loctite on the top. You don't have to use Loctite, obviously. You can just use some paint, whatever you got. And I just went and pushed down on them. I haven't flipped it over yet to see how it worked, so let's do that. All right, cool. There's one. And there's the other one. So I'll be drilling holes there, and those will be two new spots where I'm going to install fasteners to keep the bottom a little bit tighter than it was before. All right. Here is the finished product on the new hole. I didn't have a proper countersink, so I just used like an oversized drill bit to just kind of round out a little area for the head of the screw to sit in. There's the other one, and there's the factory one. So, I mean, not great, but not bad. I'll take it. So now I have 1, 2, 3, I have 4 attachment, like fastener points. Whether or not they help me, we'll see. I'm gonna run to the store right now and get some gasket maker. That's what I've decided to use. And I'm gonna run it, basically every rib that's on here, I'm gonna run gasket maker on that. And then I'm gonna attach this to the gasket maker, and then attach the frame over there to the top of the tape. So I'll use the sticky tape on the bottom, and then when I'm ready to attach the other one, I'll peel the white stuff off and attach the frame to it, and that'll be the completion of this project. So one other thing, I tried a bunch of different things to remove all the old sticky from here, and I don't know if it's coming through on camera, but I got all of it off. Anywhere I felt a little bit more sticky, I just used the acetone, and that just made it real easy work of removing it all. So now I have a nice clean surface to apply the gasket maker. The thing I like about the gasket maker, at least what I'm thinking, is it takes a while to set up, so I don't have to be real fast with it. Usually I can use like a really fine tip on it, so I can get, you know, I'm basically going to mimic all this stuff and just gasket maker all this, because I mean that's kind of what I'm doing, right? I'm making a gasket, so I thought gasket maker is a good way to go. I considered a couple of other different things like liquid nails, stuff like that. I don't know, I just didn't think that that would really fit this application, so that's what I'm going to try, gasket maker. We'll see how it goes. Went and bought this guy, the Permatex Ultra Black. Sets up in like an hour, and then 24 hours to fully cure. Obviously that's if you're doing like a differential cover or an oil pan gasket, which we're not doing that here. So it's going to allow me the freedom to, you know, not have to rush, which I don't want something that goes in like 90 minutes or, you know, 5 minutes or something like that, because I'm not that fast. So the blue tape you see here, that's marking all the places where the clips go that are on the back of the frame over there. So once I get the foam over here, I won't be able to see that. So I'm just going to, once I get the foam over there, I'm just going to put a little slit in there with a razor blade, and that should allow the clip to slide through the foam into the hole where it goes. I'm going to take the foam and I'm going to do one continuous strip all along this bottom row here with the foam, because I want it to be solid. I don't want to have any slits in it. I'm going to go all the way through here, and then I'll start the next one up here. After I push it through and adhere it to the gasket sealer, I'm going to come through with a razor blade, trim off everywhere that I don't need the foam to be, and that should make it nice and clean. And then I'll come over with the frame, probably drop like a bead of the RTV all across the foam, and then, you know, right at the end. So I'm gonna leave this little tape, this white tape on the top side, and before I peel it all off. So I'll peel off all the white tape, then I'll put a bead of this Permatex all across, all the way around, before I slap the final frame back on and screw it all down. All right. All right, so I'm about ready to put the frame on to the sticky part. So I already threw it out. The RTV proved to be pretty difficult to work with. I was able to get, I showed you guys already, down on the bottom edge. I was able to get it up both sides, but for the the top edge, which is the one I was least concerned about, this is a double-sided sticky tape. or sticky foam. And I was actually able to confirm exactly what this is, so I'll provide a link in the description. I do think that it's a 1/4 inch thick. I think that may prove to be a little too thick. We'll see once I try and merge all this together. I did make all the slits, like I said I was gonna, in all of the areas where the clips are gonna all go into. I'm using these as kind of like my guidelines, so these toothpicks are all stuck in all the screw holes. I was able to find all those, some a little easier than others. So now I'm going to flip this thing over. I cleaned this whole thing with acetone to give myself a nice, as clean as possible surface. And now I'm going to pull all these stickies off and use the fact that this is super sticky to stick to all here and hopefully make myself a nice waterproof barrier. Trimmed everything with the razor blade. This guy looks okay. I mean, looks great. We'll see if it actually works at some point. Okay, so it's just me doing this, so I'll have to turn you guys off and put it together, and then I'll show you what it looks like at the end. All right, it's done. Wasn't that bad getting all the clips back together. I definitely would go with 1/8 inch vice the 1/4 inch. I think that was a little too thick. You can see it here. Should be sticky on both sides, and hopefully all the goo I put on the bottom side keep the water out. I'm gonna do another video after a few rains, and we'll see how I did. I don't like that. All right, I'm gonna stick some goo in there. So that seems to be the only real, like, that's where these two met. I don't think it's gonna matter, but I'll drop some of that gasket sealer in there. It's the underside. You can see some of the gasket sealer coming out. Yeah, so it's done. Took me, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 hours to do it all. It wasn't a short project, but I'll let you know how it goes. All right, guys, so I think what we did worked. It's rained a couple of times. It's rained pretty hard a couple of times, and the last time it rained as hard as it did, this floor pan was absolutely soaked. Like you had to wash it with or suck it out with a wet dry vac. It was so bad. So now it's not, and even the back was super bad. And now, I mean, you can hear that. It's nice and dry. So we're still getting a little bit of rainwater, like right down in here, which I don't know if you're ever gonna fix it, but it's way better than it was. We're not getting the soaking that we were getting from before, and we're really happy with it. So I just wanted to let you guys know that it actually worked. So let me know in the comments if it worked for you.